The war was finally over. After years of fighting, burning cities, and watching friends die in space, Caleb was ready to go home. He didn't want medals or speeches. He just wanted quiet. Maybe sit near a lake, breathe clean air, and forget the screams. But the universe had other plans. His last official mission came as a surprise. It wasn't about guns or enemies. It was about babysitting. "You're assigning me what?" Caleb asked, standing in front of his commander. "Escort duty," the commander replied, not even looking up from his datapad. "Alien envoy. Important." Orders came from the top. Caleb blinked. "You want me to protect an alien? Not just any alien? She's from the Ilari race. A treaty talks. She needs to reach her delegation without getting killed." Caleb didn't argue. He knew better than to fight orders. But deep down, he felt something strange. The war had ended just 3 days ago. There were still fresh bloodstains on half the battle stations. And now they were trusting him to protect someone from a species that once tried to erase humanity. When he met her, everything became even more confusing. Her name was Ilari. Tall, slender, with soft silver skin that shimmered under light. Her eyes were large and glowing, like twin stars, and her voice was quiet but carried weight. She wore a simple dark robe, and her long hair floated like it had no gravity. Everything about her felt calm. "You're my guardian?" she asked, tilting her head. "Looks like it," Caleb replied. He kept his voice flat, professional. "You follow my lead, we get through this fast." She nodded without protest. But she didn't. Smile. Their journey started from Orbit Base 11. They boarded a mid-range shuttle headed to a neutral spaceport. From there, they would catch another ship to her people's territory. It sounded easy. "Too easy. You don't talk much," Caleb said during the flight. "Neither do you," she replied. He gave a small shrug. "Don't need to, or taught. Me, that silence saves lives." Ilari looked out the window. "You fought in the war?" "Everyone did," he answered. "What about you?" "I was ... away." Caleb raised a brow but didn't ask more. She clearly didn't want to talk. But still, something felt strange. Her presence was too calm, too quiet. Like she was thinking 1,000 things but saying nothing. The shuttle moved smoothly through space. Caleb ran checks every hour, keeping his weapon close. His instincts screamed at him. This mission wasn't as simple as they told him. At the next docking station, things started to shift. As they passed through a security scan, Ilari stiffened. She turned her head slightly and whispered something. Under her breath, the scanner blinked red for a second, then went green. Caleb noticed. "What did you just do?" "Nothing," she said quickly. I was nervous. He didn't believe her, but he didn't push. Later, as they rested inside a quiet corner of the ship, Caleb watched her from a distance. She sat cross-legged, eyes closed, hands glowing faintly. He had seen energy like that before, but only during the war, only from elite alien warriors. "You have powers," he said calmly, not moving from his seat. Ilari opened her eyes slowly. "I'm not your enemy." "That's not what I asked." "I don't want to fight," she said. "Not anymore." Caleb leaned forward. "So why do you have abilities the rest of your people claim they banned after the war?" She looked down, because not everything they said was true. Caleb felt a chill run down his spine. He didn't like this. Not at all the next day. Trouble arrived fast. A small pirate vessel latched onto their shuttle during a quiet passage through asteroid fields. The alarms screamed, lights flashed, and the ship shook. Caleb grabbed his gun. "Stay behind me." When the door burst open and 3 armored raiders stepped inside, Ilari moved forward. "Wait," Caleb shouted. She raised her hand and a wave of glowing energy shot from her fingers, knocking the raiders back like they were leaves in a storm. They hit the walls hard and didn't move again. Caleb stared at her. "You lied?" Ilari turned. "Slowly I protected us." "What are you?" She looked tired now, like using that power drained her. "If I told you everything, would you still protect me?" Caleb didn't answer. His mind was racing. Orders were clear: escort the alien. Make sure she stays safe. but they never said what she really was. You better start talking, Caleb said. Now, she sat down slowly, breathing hard. I wasn't supposed to use my power. It draws attention, but I had no choice. What kind of attention? He asked. The kind that gets both of us killed, she said. Or worse, starts another war. Caleb stood there, gun in hand, heart beating fast. He thought this job would be boring, a simple ride across the stars. But now he was stuck with a mysterious alien woman with powers and secrets and the galaxy's peace hanging in the balance. Caleb didn't sleep that night, after the pirate attack and Allery's strange powers. He kept replaying everything in his head. Her hand glowing with energy, the wave that knocked out the attackers, the way she looked afterward calm but tired. She hadn't even checked if Caleb was okay. It's like she knew he would be. She sat near the ship's corner now, resting with her back against the wall. Her eyes were half closed, and her long silver hair covered part of her face. She looked peaceful, but Caleb knew better. She was hiding something big. You're going to tell me everything, Caleb said. Aelre opened her eyes slowly. I saved us. I didn't say you didn't, he replied. I need to know what you're really carrying. Are you a weapon, a spy, or something worse? She was silent for a moment. Then she said softly, I'm not what you were told. Caleb crossed his arms. Start talking. She looked at the floor. During the war, my father was one of the high commanders, created something powerful, something living, something dangerous, a code, a seed. It wasn't a weapon in the normal way. It could change things. Rewrite systems, control ships, even people. Caleb narrowed his eyes. You mean like biological control? Aelre nodded. Yes, he planned to use it to control both sides, to end the war his way. But before he could, the council found out. They turned on him. They wanted the code destroyed. And, Caleb asked. He put the code inside me, she whispered. Caleb stared at her. Inside you? Hidden, she said. Part of my body. Part of my blood. His chest tightened. This wasn't just an escort job. He was protecting a walking key to galaxy-breaking tech. Stepped back, needing to think. Why didn't you tell anyone? He asked. Because everyone wants to use me, she said. The humans, the Aelre, the pirates, the rebels. I can't trust anyone. And why trust me? Caleb asked. Ari looked at him, because you didn't try to control me when. I used my power. You didn't call for help. You just looked confused. That's better than most. Caleb let out a slow breath. He wasn't sure what to believe, but he knew one thing: they couldn't stay here. Get ready, he said. We're changing course. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere safe, he replied. For now. He sent a coded message to an old war buddy who owed him a favor. They rerouted their shuttle to a mining colony on the edge of neutral space. Not a place for peace, but not a place anyone would look for them either. The station was dark. It's crowded, full of noise and smoke. Perfect to hide in. They got a small room near the edge of the colony. Caleb locked the door, set up a shield around the walls, and placed motion sensors. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. You should rest, he said. Aelre looked. Around the small space. You live like this? I've lived worse, he replied. This is better than trenches and freezing metal floors. Aelre sat on the bed. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, he muttered. They'll come. You said it yourself. A few hours passed in quiet. Then the alarm blinked red. Someone was at the door. Caleb grabbed his gun and nodded at Aelre to stay back. He opened the door carefully. Standing outside was a tall man in a dusty jacket and cybernetic eye. He grinned. Still alive, Caleb? Barely, Caleb said. You got my message. Yep, the man said. And rumors too. People say you're protecting a ghost from the war. That true? You know me, Caleb said. I never liked rumors. The man chuckled. Well, rumor or not, you've got attention. Someone paid big credits to find you. Caleb glanced back. Aelre stood behind the door, silent, listening. Who's looking for me? Caleb asked. Everyone, the man said. your old command, some rebel groups, and even a few bounty hunters. Caleb cursed under his breath. Great. You need to disappear, the man said. Fast. Can you help? Caleb asked. The man nodded. I know a back route. Old maintenance tunnels under the colony. Not on the maps. But you'll need to move before night. Understood, Caleb said. After the man left, Caleb turned to Ilari. We leave in 2 hours. Do you trust him? She asked. No, Caleb said. But I trust that he wants to keep his business running. If a war starts here, everyone loses money.
Oh.
They packed fast and moved quietly. The tunnels below the colony were dark and smelled like rust and chemicals. Ilari stayed close, her soft steps making no sound. Caleb held his weapon tight. Halfway through the tunnels, they heard footsteps. Caleb stopped ahead. The 3 shadows moved in the dark. Bounty hunters. Stay behind me, he whispered. But Ilari stepped forward. They're after me. Handle. It don't, Caleb started. But she was already walking toward the danger. The shadows laughed. That's her. Take her alive. Ilari raised her hands. Glowing energy circled her fingers. Then, without a sound, she vanished, teleporting past the hunters. In one move, she sent a pulse behind them. The tunnel shook. Pipes burst. Sparks flew. The hunters ran. Caleb stood in shock. You can teleport. Ilari returned to his side, her energy fading. Not far, and not often. But yes, you're full of surprises, he muttered. I had to be, she replied. To survive. They kept walking until they reached the end of the tunnel. Outside, an old ship waited, barely holding together. Our ride, Caleb said. Ilari looked at him. Where does it go? Somewhere they won't find us, he said. For now, they boarded, locked the doors, and launched into the stars. Caleb sat in the pilot's seat, staring into space. He was tired, confused, and angry. But most of all, he was curious. Who really was this alien woman beside him? The ship flew through empty space, creaked and buzzed with every turn, but it was fast and silent. Caleb sat in the pilot's seat, his hands steady on the controls, but his mind far from calm. The stars outside looked peaceful, but he knew the peace wouldn't last. Ilari sat beside him, quiet again. Her eyes stayed on the stars, and her face looked calm. But Caleb had seen her fight. He'd seen the glow in her hands and the way she bent energy like it was part of her. She was not just some alien traveler. She was something more. We can't keep running forever, Caleb said. I know, Ilari replied softly. He glanced at her. Then what's the plan? She turned her head slowly. There's a place, a temple, hidden from most maps. My people built it long ago. It was made to store things. Dangerous things. That's where my father first created the seed. Code. Caleb frowned. You said that code is inside you. She nodded. Yes, it sleeps, but it's there. The temple has the only system that can remove it. Destroy it completely. That's why we have to go there. And if we don't, he asked, then it will wake up, she said, and others will find me. They'll try to use it. They'll try to use me. Caleb leaned back in his seat. The galaxy had just come out of a war, and now there's some hidden alien tech that could control fleets, mines, and maybe more. Why didn't you go there before? He asked. I tried, she said. But it's in forbidden space. Even my own people won't let anyone near it. And now, if they see me, they'll try to take me back. Not to help me, but to lock me away. Forever. Caleb looked ahead, silent for a while. You want me to help you get there? I don't. Want anyone else? She replied. Her voice was soft, but steady. There was something honest in her tone, like she wasn't trying to trick him. Caleb didn't fully trust her, but he didn't think she was lying either, and deep down he knew the truth. If anyone else got their hands on that seed code, millions could die. Fine, he said. We go to the temple. A small smile touched her lips. Thank you. Don't thank me, he said. Not yet. They traveled for a day and a half. Caleb took short naps in turns, while Ilari stayed near the ship's back. Sometimes meditating, sometimes just watching the stars. she never slept. Or maybe she didn't need to. On the second night, Caleb woke to a strange sound. It came from the storage room. He grabbed his sidearm and walked slowly. When he reached the door, he found Ilari standing in front of an open crate. Inside were metal pieces, glowing softly. "What are you doing?" he asked. "I needed parts," she said, "to build a pulse jammer." "Ass! If anyone tries to track us, this will block the signal." Caleb lowered his weapon. "Next time, ask." "Didn't want to wake you," she replied. He sighed. "Just ... don't sneak around. Trust works both ways." She nodded. "You're right." By the time they reached the edge of forbidden space, Caleb had fixed the ship's scanners and cleared the route. The area ahead was full of space debris, dead satellites, and strange energy fields. Ships had disappeared here before, and no one knew why. "Are you sure this place exists?" he asked. "Yes," she said.
Ow.
"But it doesn't welcome visitors." As they entered the zone, the lights flickered. Ship's systems began to glitch. Caleb stayed focused. He pushed forward, guiding the ship through tight gaps and strange magnetic clouds. He saw things outside shadows. Sheep's bet. He didn't speak about them. Ailari stood behind him now, both hands glowing faintly. Her power helped stabilize the ship. Finally, a structure appeared in the distance. It was carved into an asteroid, shaped like a giant eye, half covered by space dust and ice. Glowing symbols moved slowly across its surface. "That's it," she whispered. Caleb guided the ship toward a landing dock. They stepped out onto hard stone. The air was thin but breathable. As they walked into the temple, old lights flickered on. The hallway was wide, with tall walls and glowing carvings. Strange energy pulsed through the floor. "This place feels alive," Caleb said. "It is," Ilari replied. "The temple is part machine, part spirit. It knows who enters." As they moved deeper, a platform rose in the center of a large chamber. Ilari stepped onto it. "Wait," Caleb said. "What does this thing do exactly?" "It will scan me," she said. "Read the seed code and give me a choice. Keep it, transfer it, or destroy it. What's the catch?" Caleb asked. "If I destroy it," she said, "I might not survive." Caleb took a step forward. "You never said that before. I didn't want to scare you," she said, "but you needed to know now." "You're not doing this alone," he said firmly. Aelara looked at him, surprised. "You'd risk your life for me? You didn't start this war," he said, "but you might be the one who ends it for good." She nodded and placed her hands on the glowing panel. The temple hummed. Beams of light scanned her body. Energy. Waves pulsed outward. Symbols shifted. The seed code inside her began to awaken. Her body glowed brighter. Her breath quickened. Caleb saw her trembling. Suddenly alarms echoed through the chamber. Red lights blinked along the walls. A voice spoke low and metallic. "Unauthorized ship detected." Caleb turned. Someone else had followed them. "We've got company," he said. Eyes opened, glowing like fire. "Then we finish this now, before they take everything." The warning voice echoed again through the temple. "Unauthorized ship detected. Defense systems preparing." Caleb moved quickly, pulling out his weapon and scanning the temple's main entrance. Ilari stood in the center of the glowing platform. Light still flowing through her body. She looked weak, but her eyes stayed focused. "Keep going," Caleb said. "I'll handle whoever's coming." Ilari didn't answer. She was too deep in the temple's system now. My body shook slightly. As energy moved through her, the seed code was waking up inside her. She had to stay still, or the process would stop. Caleb ran to the entrance hallway and took cover behind one of the thick stone columns. A few seconds later, he saw them, 4 figures in dark armor, moving fast and silent. Their helmets glowed. Red. Bounty hunters, or worse. One of them stopped. Human heat signature detected. "Prepare to engage." Caleb didn't wait. He opened fire, hitting one in the leg. The armored figure fell with a grunt. The others returned fire, plasma bolts. Burning the wall near Caleb's head, he ducked and rolled to a better position. He tapped his earpiece. "Ilari, how long do you need?" Her voice came softly. 3 minutes. Maybe less. We don't have that, Caleb muttered. He threw a flash grenade and rushed forward. 2 of the attackers were blinded. He knocked one out with the back of his gun and kicked the other into the wall. The last one raised a heavy blaster, but Caleb was faster. He fired twice, dropping him to the floor. The hallway went quiet again. Caleb stepped over the bodies, checking for movement. None of them were dead, just unconscious. He didn't want to kill if he didn't have to, not when the war was supposed to be over. He turned back toward the chamber. Ilari was still on the platform, now floating a few inches above it. The energy around her had changed. It looked brighter, stronger, but also more dangerous. "Caleb," she said softly, "something's wrong." He rushed to her side.
Dad?
"Is it the seed? It's fighting back?" "What do you mean?" "It doesn't want to be destroyed," she said. "It's alive." Caleb stepped onto the edge of the platform. "Can we stop it?" "Yes," she whispered, "but not alone." The temple's walls began to vibrate. Strange symbols flashed faster now. The light around Ilari turned red. The air grew hotter. Something deep in the temple groaned, like a beast waking from sleep. "What do I need to do?" Caleb asked. Ilari reached out and grabbed his hand. "Share the burden." "What?" "Connect with me," she said. "Let your mind touch mine. It'll spread the energy, keep me alive long enough to finish this." Caleb hesitated for only a second, then nodded. "Do it." She placed her hand on his chest. Light flowed from her fingers into his body. His heart raced. A strange warmth rushed through him. He saw images in his mind, alien places, memories that weren't his. Pain, fear, hope. Ilari's life, her struggles, her loneliness. He gasped. "This is too much." "Hold on," she said. Together, they stood inside the glowing circle. The temple responded, sensing their connection. A final message echoed through the chamber. Seed destruction process activated. Deep below the platform, machines roared to life. Wires and tubes lit up. Strange energy beams moved around them. It's pulling something out of Ilari's body, a small glowing shape, like a tiny star made of codes and light. Caleb stared at it. "That's it?"
Nice.
"Yes," Ilari said. The seed, the glowing object, floated above them, spinning faster and faster. It began to shrink, its light turning white-hot. Then, with a sudden, soundless flash, it disappeared. The platform dimmed. The vibrations stopped. The heat faded. Ilari fell forward, and Caleb caught her. She was shaking, her skin pale, her eyes closing. "It's gone," she whispered. "Really gone." Caleb helped her sit on the edge of the platform. "You did it?" "We did it," she said. "You saved me." "Yeah, well," he said with a tired smile. "You saved me first." Before they could rest, an alarm beeped again. Reinforcements approaching. Multiple ships. Caleb cursed. "More bounty hunters." Ilari shook her head. "No, these are Ilari ships, my people." Caleb stood up. "They tracked us here. They must have followed the energy pulse when the seed was destroyed," she said. "Or maybe they always knew." Outside, through the high stone windows of the temple, lights appeared in the sky. 5 ships in formation. Fast and armed, Caleb checked his gun. "We can't fight them." "Maybe we don't have to," Ilari said. "I can speak to them. They'll listen if they know the seed is gone." "And what if they don't care?" Caleb asked. She looked at him, tired but steady. "Then we run again. Together." Caleb gave a small nod. Together, he helped her stand, and they walked to the landing platform. Ilari ships hovered above, lowering slowly. Their engines hummed like thunder. Doors opened and armored figures stepped out. A tall Ilari warrior walked forward. His armor shined with gold. His face was hard and proud. "Ilari," he said, "you shouldn't be here." She stepped forward. "The seed is gone." He stared at her, eyes narrowing. "Prove it." She placed her hand on a glowing stone at the edge of the temple. The light inside it stayed dark. No code, no energy. Empty. The warrior looked at Caleb, then back at her. "What now?" "You leave us alone," she said. "The war is over. The danger is gone. Let us live in peace." The warrior paused, then nodded. "We will report this to the council." He turned and walked away. The other soldiers followed. The ship slowly rose and disappeared into the sky. Caleb let out a deep breath. "I thought they'd take you." "So did I," she said quietly. "What happens next?" he asked. She looked at him with a small smile. "We find a place to live. No more running, no more war, and if trouble comes again?" he asked. She reached for his hand. "Then we face it, like we always do." Caleb flew the ship quietly through open space. The stars outside blinked gently, like they were watching from a distance. Beside him, Ilari rested in the co-pilot's seat. She looked tired but calm. Her eyes were closed, her breathing steady. For the first time in days, there was no danger chasing them. They had done it. The seed was gone. The temple had accepted the sacrifice. And the Ilari warriors had left without a fight. But Caleb knew the galaxy wasn't that simple. He looked at her. "You still sure they'll leave us alone?" Ilari opened her eyes. "No, they don't want a public scandal. If they admit the seed existed, they'll have to explain how they let it get created so they stay quiet." She nodded. "They'll watch us, but they won't act. Not unless we give them a reason." Caleb leaned back. "I hate politics." Ilari gave a soft smile. "You're not the only one." They landed on a small moon in a quiet sector. It had breathable air, calm winds, and no major settlements. Caleb picked a spot near a ridge and set up camp using leftover military supplies. They built a simple shelter, shared food from rations, and slowly tried to feel normal again. On the second night, Ilari walked out and stood under the stars. Caleb followed her. "Can't sleep?" he asked. "I don't really sleep," she replied. "My body rests in different ways." "This be nice," Caleb said. "Sometimes," she said. "But it means I'm alone in the dark." We stood beside her. "You're not alone anymore." She looked at him. "You've changed." "Ward is that?" "No," she said. "I mean, since we first met, you were cold, distant now. You care." Looked at the stars. "I didn't want to care. It's easier not to." "So why did you?" He paused. Then said, "Because you never gave up. Even when you were scared, even when everyone hunted, you kept going. Elar stepped closer, and you stood beside me." Caleb smiled. "Guess we're both stubborn." Stayed like that for a while, standing close. The stars above them, quiet and endless. The next day, Caleb worked on fixing a broken scanner, while Ilari tried to grow a plant from local seeds. She used her energy slowly, carefully, and the tiny plant finally sprouted. She smiled as the green leaf opened. "You're not bad at farming," Caleb joked. "First time," she said. "Feels ... Peaceful," he nodded. "Peace is rare. Better. Hold on to it." But peace didn't last. On the third day, the scanner beeped. Caleb checked it. A small ship was approaching. Fast. No known signal. No identification. It wasn't one of the Ilari patrols. "Someone's coming," he said. Ilari. Walked up beside him. "Pirates?" "No," he said, to clean. "Probably bounty hunters again. Maybe they tracked the temple energy." "What do we do?" she asked. "We stay low," he said. "And if they land, we're ready." He handed her a small device. "Press this if things go bad. It'll call the temple's last signal beacon. It might scare them off." "And you?" she asked. "I'll stall them." The ship landed a mile away. Caleb watched from a hill. Two figures stepped out, one human, one alien. Both in black armor, both armed, they moved toward the ridge calmly. Caleb met them halfway. "You're Caleb," the human said. "Who's asking?" Caleb replied. "Name's Darren," the man said. "This is my partner Vera. We're here for the girl." "She's not a threat," Caleb said. "Doesn't matter," Darren replied. "We were paid to find her." "By who?" "Someone rich and quiet," Vera said. "Doesn't matter. Hand her over and we leave." Caleb shook his head. "Not happening." Darren sighed. "Didn't want this to be messy." He reached for his weapon, but before he could aim, a beam of light flashed behind Caleb. Ellery stepped into view, her hands glowing. I told you, she said. I'm not something to be claimed. Darren and Vera froze. Aelre lifted one hand. And the scanner on Darren's wrist exploded. Leave now, she said calmly, and no one gets hurt. The two bounty hunters backed away. Fine, Darren said. But others will come. They always do. Let them, Caleb replied. We're not afraid. The hunters returned to their ship and left without another word. Later, Caleb sat near the campfire, watching the flames. You didn't have to show yourself, he said. I could have handled it. I'm tired of hiding, Aelre said. I won't live in fear. Then we'll make a life here, he said. Together, she sat beside him. You mean that? He nodded. We've been through worse. She smiled. Thank you, Caleb, for staying. Always, he said. Looked at the fire, the stars above, and the quiet land around them. For now, they were safe, and together, they had a new beginning. Weeks passed. The small moon became a kind of home. Caleb repaired the old ship and set up solar panels for power. Aelre used her energy to help grow plants, clean the air, and improve their small shelter. They didn't have much, but it was peaceful. Caleb hunted animals for food. Aelre learned to cook them in ways she had never done before. Every day felt simple, almost normal. It was the first time either of them had lived without fear, without looking over their shoulder. They built a life, sometimes they spoke about. The past, sometimes they didn't. Both knew some memories were better left alone. One evening, they sat by the fire. The stars above were bright and silent. Aelre watched the sky like she was waiting for something. You okay? Caleb asked. Yes, she said. Just thinking about. About what comes next, she said. We already have what's next, Caleb replied. This, she smiled gently. It won't last forever. Why not? Still being watched, she said. Not by enemies, but by my own people. Caleb nodded. He had noticed strange signals in the last few days. Not close, but not far either. Like someone was circling, waiting. Do you think they'll come? He asked. Yes, she said. Not with guns. With words. With choices. You don't trust them. No, she said. But I know what they want. They want to rewrite what happened, tell a clean story. Forget the seed code ever existed. Will you let them? She looked at him. Not without a voice. Not without truth. He reached. For her hand, I'll stand with you. Her fingers curled into his. I know. The next morning, the ship arrived. Sleek, silver, and quiet. It landed far from their camp, but made no effort to hide. One figure stepped out, a tall woman dressed in silver robes with Aelre symbols. No weapons, no armor. Aelre walked toward her alone, but Caleb stayed close. The woman bowed slightly. Aelre of the fallen bloodline. I don't use that name anymore, Aelre replied. I come in peace, the woman said. The High Council wishes to speak with you. They had their chance, Aelre said. They tried to erase me. They regret that now, the woman replied. The destruction of the seed was felt across many systems. You did what, no? One else could, and now they want to make me a symbol? Aelre asked. Yes, the woman said. A symbol of peace, of balance. We offer you a place among the council. Aelre stayed silent for a long moment. Then she asked, and him? She pointed to Caleb. He is a human, the woman said. Not part of our blood. He's part of my life, Aelre replied. If I join, he joins, or I stay here. The woman hesitated. It's not traditional, then traditions. Must change, Aelre said. The woman bowed her head. I will deliver your words. She returned to her ship and flew away. Caleb watched the sky until it was empty again. So, council member now? Aelre gave a small laugh. Maybe. And me? You're my balance, she said. My fire in cold places. You always talk like a poem, Caleb teased. And you always talk like a soldier, she said. Smiling, they went back to their shelter and waited. 3 days later, a message arrived. It came on an old human channel. Caleb opened it, and a familiar face appeared, an old commander from the war. You're hard to find, the commander said, but we've been watching. Caleb narrowed his eyes. What do you want? Say thank you, the commander replied. What you two did. You saved us all. We didn't do it for thanks, Caleb said. I know, the commander said. But people need to know the truth. We'd like to offer you something. Both of you. We're listening, Caleb said. A ship. A place. No orders. No war. But if trouble rises, again we'll call. Caleb looked at Ilari. She nodded. Deal, Caleb said. The message ended. Ael leaned her head against his shoulder. Do you think we'll ever be left alone? Maybe not forever, Caleb said, but we'll always face it together. Days passed. Seasons shifted. They built more. They learned more. They even taught passing travelers who came by. Most never knew the full story. They just saw a human and an alien living in peace. But sometimes, under the stars, Caleb would hold her hand and remember the war, the temple, the seed, and how close they came to losing everything. They survived. Not just by strength, but by trust. By standing together, no longer soldier and mission, just man and woman, just Caleb and Aelari, and whatever came next, they were ready.